Unmute everybody. Yeah, we're gonna get started. We're not gonna let the music play us in too much. Hey everybody, it's Francisco here for Sports Goofs number 118. I'm joined by my buddy Charles. Andrew will pop in at some point later on. We will see. But yeah, this is a late start time for tonight and for the week itself, because we usually do a Tuesday show, and yet here we are on Thursday competing with the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and the NFL. That's how cocky we are with the quality of our show. Right? Let's see if we can nab some people on those Nielsen ratings, you know?
We could steal them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so we're on Twitter. So if anybody listens to all the tweets and stuff, stuff that's going to go on with Thursday Night Football and everything like that. So who's playing tonight?
It's
Denver
the Browns
and Cleveland,
with
right?
everybody injured.
Yeah.
And then the Broncos.
The Broncos, who are not a good team. Nope. And started off, 3-0 because they played teams that were worse than them. All right. Yeah, it's one of these shows, right? It's one of those shows where Prani's Hockey World is happy to sponsor us for sure. You know,
the best hockey world.
Yeah. Yeah, and Hockey World is where I'm at right now, Charles, because it is making me happy. And you can go to Prani's Hockey World and make yourself happy. Go to our website, click on the banner to get the best selection, lowest prices on closeout and prior products, right? All that clearance stuff from the last season. You get some of the new stuff too if you feel like it. But they got great deals on everything, so check them out for that stuff. And yeah, there's stuff that went down over the past week. We got a lot to go through. Charles has some wrestling. We're not going to have a traditional cage. It's going to be a different experience.
I can give you one blip on a cage thing before we go from there, because the G1 Climax winner was also decided today. And I feel I have to address that real quickly as I do my live stream rumble. It was Okada who won. Kota got hurt. They didn't get a Zack Sabre Jr. I love me some Okada. But damn, Ghetto, stop sucking as a booker. I love Okada, but he ain't going to take it from Shingo, right? Okay, that's all I got for you on this basic cage, because we're doing a Sports Goof Royal Rumble as we live watch Crown Jewel that happened a couple hours ago. It's a full 4 hours. We're only going to probably go to the 2. If we can get any live reactions, we're starting off with Edge and Seth Rollins at the Hell in a Cell match. Expect some buffoonery and, Hater Nation, Holleration in his dancery. Go ahead, Francis.
All right, so we're trying to find a way to organize all of this. I don't know how long this episode is going to go. Who knows? Heck, I might talk about by myself towards the end of it. Who knows? Anyways, yeah, Major League Baseball playoffs. All right, let's jump into baseball. Let's just go right now. Let's go with baseball, all right? So we'll start with the National League, because that's the league. I guess there's less of the higher emotions from at least half of or 2/3 of our guys here. But yeah,
I'm here now.
Oh, you now. Perfect.
Hey, okay.
Andrew, did you hear this disclaimer about what we're doing about the cage?
I heard bits and pieces of it.
Okay, we're doing a Royal Rumble, basically, because I'm going to be live streaming this match, or live reaction, and starting with Seth and Edge and a Hell in a Cell. Be ready, boys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sirree. So, we got that going. So, baseball, playoffs, National League Championship Series between my hated Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers, defending World Series champions, Mickey Mouse Championship. Anyways,
you guys, Seth Rollins looking like the Green Power Ranger. I'm going to type in some stuff into the chat because I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to put that out there.
3-1 lead right now, the Atlanta Braves against the Dodgers. We've seen this before. This happened last year. And the Braves did as all Atlanta teams do, and they choked. Man, I feel like part of me wants to be like, I feel like it's going to be different this year, boys, so I can find a way to jinx the Braves into choking. That way I can both be wrong, but feel right at the same time. I feel like that's what I want to do, and I feel like that's what I'm going to do. Because this Braves team looks different, and they're... just gotta put on a brave face. There we go, Freddie. There we go. The only guy that I can't seem to beat any of the personal records of in Forza Horizon 4, because, man, you played that game a lot. And I cannot surpass you. You are very much more skilled than I am with regards to virtual driving. Anyways, yeah, the Braves are up. They are hitting. They are finding ways to keep the Dodgers from finding any sort of footing. But sheesh, man, yeah, Forza.
That's more.
Yeah.
That's more battle fatigue, though.
Yeah.
When it comes to, because Trey Turner's now out, Kershaw's out, everybody's kind of injured, and I know what they're saying, Charles, you can't pull the injury bug, but why not? I mean, I'm not saying the injury bug, those guys out there, is going to afflict the whole thing because it's been blown runs basically in the first 4 innings. But you got to give the Dodgers a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, right? Because no one likes to fall behind 3-1, but it's not like they're 3-0. Well, you can see how the Braves can be beaten if the Dodgers just keep their heads together.
Well, they've started Albert Pujols tonight, so we'll see if that works for them. They are at home, so they might get one of those like last minute pushes. I mean, this is their game 5, so it's the final one in LA, and they'll have to try and find a way to beat them over in Atlanta if they're going to pull this off again. But it's different this time. There are crowds. There are people in the stands. There's way more pressure. And
you're saying Dodgers are paper champions, just Rona champions, and that's it.
Well, they need to legitimize that Mickey Mouse championship. The Lightning did it, so it's their turn. The Lakers didn't do it, so yeah. LA teams maybe they fold when it comes to actually being in front of other people. Maybe that's the way things are. I mean, the Lakers surely, folded in their opener against the Warriors. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now. Yeah, there's some petty linging over. Yeah, so wow. By the way, NBA opened on Tuesday, so the Heat opening tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's all going down. Lots of stuff.
Save that for the NBA portion.
Yeah, we're going to save that for now.
But let me ask you this, though. Are the Braves just kind of, are they good, or are they just kind of playing a gas team? Because they were kind of unexceptional the first go-around against the Brewers. And I've watched a couple of the NL games. I'm just like, I think it's more the Dodgers kind of screwing it up than the Braves putting out there. And maybe it's just because I don't know anybody really that's on that team besides Freddie Freeman. And I know who's on that roster, so when I make that declarative statement, it's because I'm being a dick. Plain and simple. But if I can name you all the Dodgers things, and I also don't think Snitker is a fantastic manager, but I'll give the Braves credit. They don't have an ace pitcher. They don't even have a 4-star pitcher going on there. And they're keeping it consistent. But depending who they meet, you're either going to meet a Red Sox team, if they come back, who has just bombers on their batting squad, or a Houston team that is just healthy now, because there's Odorizzi who had to come back, Alvarez had to come back, and some things are not coming in there. But
Braves have already started. They're up 2-0 now.
Case in point. What we had mentioned a couple minutes ago.
Kind of to go to your comment earlier, Charles, about whether the Braves are good or not. I think if a team is able to make it deep into the playoffs on multiple occasions, I think they're good. I mean, this is probably a bit of a hot take, but I think that four years in a row where the Buffalo Bills made it to the Super Bowl, I know they never were able to close the deal, but I think they were legitimately one of the best teams in the sport for that span. Because it takes a shit ton just to get that far, then to do it 4 times in a row is incredible. I mean, like I said, they didn't close the deal, so obviously, kind of like the 1990s Braves, they had that huge streak of 14 consecutive seasons where they won the division.
Yeah,
and they only made it to the World Series
95 in a strike shortened year.
Yep.
95 and then
98, I believe.
95. No, they lost the World Series in 1991, 1992. They won in 95. They lost in 96, and they lost in 99.
Oh, 99. But my question to you, Andrew, is in comparison to those Bills teams to the Braves now, because going to 2 NLCS in a row is good, but doesn't that just mean that you're dominant in a weak sauce standing in the sense of that pennant, that league, whatever the hell they call it in baseball, the conferences, because you have that, but then you have the true teams that are just dominating. That Heat era, baby, with them big three, or with the Patriots in the resurgence of Brady's career before he left to Tampa. Because you could be very good, but you're not the team. You're not the dynasty. You're not – I would say the Dodgers is that team because obviously I'm petty, and I'm saying that Dodgers, they went back-to-backs basically in World Series, and they lost to a cheating Houston and lost to a Boston that cheated, but no one wanted to investigate into it. And then when they go again, they won the World Series. So Atlanta, I would agree with you that they're very good, but I don't think that they're not the grand
the Braves.
They're the NL.
The Braves playing this season.
They just win.
But the Braves playing this season, having seen them because they play the Marlins in the same division. They lost Ronald Acuna, and I blew my load on that night. I was there. I was there when it happened, too. It was a great day. But
Edge just had an execution.
I edged for sure on that day. Anyways, damn it, man. Look, I've been waiting since Tuesday to talk about this stuff. Anyways, but they've been playing really inspired baseball, like inspired baseball. That's where they are right now. They are a very inspired team. They overcame the loss of their best player, aside from Freddie Freeman, in Acuna. And then they went out, instead of selling at the trade deadline, they bought in and got some guys to bolster themselves to make a run at the NL East. And you know what? Good on them for actually identifying that the NL East was weak anyways. Like, it was at that, like, there was still, like, the Marlins were still in it in some ways when Acuna went down. That was how weak the NL East is. So the Mets fell apart. The Phillies could never get it going. And the Nationals are done. They closed their championship window. Now they're in a rebuild. So for the Braves, it was like, all right, let's do it again and roll it back and try and get the playoffs and see what happens. And they got pretty. They've taken advantage of the fact that one of those California teams was gonna knock out the other one. So you had that, and then you had the Milwaukee Brewers, who were, well, now they are the weakest of those division winners for this season. The Braves were able to outmatch them. So even though it was actually a pretty close series, but still, the Braves were able to beat them out. And now they're at a point where they're back at the same spot they were last season. And they did play in Texas last season. There was a crowd, but now they've got true home and away crowds. And I don't think they're going to let this one slip. I mean, we'll see. It's 2-0 already. It's 2-0, but I don't think they'll have enough to beat the American League champion. But that may be part of my bias. But the American League champions right now, because just of the sheer amount of runs that are being scored by those teams, is ridiculous. But we'll see. But I think the Braves are playing so inspired that they're gonna beat the Dodgers and make it to the World Series.
Well, I will add this. I didn't really read it full, but apparently Mookie Betts said that this 3-1 deficit feels different than the 3-1 deficit last season. And I'd agree. I'd agree with him because, I mean, it looks like Joe Kelly's injured.
Oh.
I'm watching the game right now, and trainers heading out to him.
Yeah, it's still at the top of the first right now, and it's been sitting there for quite a bit. So yeah, maybe
and he's gone. He's out.
Okay, well, there's that.
There's their excuse.
And I'm hearing an echo, by the
Joe
way.
Kelly meme face here.
I'm hearing an echo, by the way, from someone's speakers. So, yeah. What was it? Okay, yeah, it does feel different.
Yeah, and the thing is, so let's say Los Angeles does come back to win this game, so it's 3-2. Atlanta's got 2 straight games at home, and their Truist Field or whatever the hell it's called has been electric the past couple of days. So whereas last year it was literally neutral territory. I don't think anyone was allowed in, or if there
was a small crowd at Globe Life, whatever, in where the Rangers play in Arlington.
You would imagine. I know that's roughly halfway between Georgia and California, just going off rough estimates of locations. But I'd imagine that LA fans would travel a bit further, and that would be a bit more of an LA friendly crowd. If any, sort of biased to either side. But anyway, yeah, I think this one is different. And I'll be honest, I really, I mean, aside from the fact that I don't want the Astros to win ever again, I want them to suffer.
But you want Alex Cora to win?
Until the last member of the 2017 team is gone. I would, aside from that, I think it would be really cool if the Braves and the Red Sox met, and here's why. That would be an all Boston matchup. If we're going all the way back, the Braves started in Boston, then moved to Milwaukee, then moved to Atlanta.
Ugh.
So I couldn't give a shit about Alex Cora. I think.
Well, yeah, you're gonna rub them nuts about Boston. You have to think of what you put in the universe. We all just said we don't think the Braves are good enough to win the World Series, and you leave that hope to Alex Cora just getting it clean.
Well, we all have separate things that we want from this universe, but I want chaos.
Continue, Andrew. Continue, Andrew.
Well, I believe in as much as I believe in chaos, and I would love chaos, I believe in justice as well.
And Alex Cora was the cheater.
One of.
The figurehead. He's the Michael Corleone.
I want to use an analogy here, but I don't want to bring it up because it's a bit controversial. I'll tell you guys after the fact, but just because you have a figurehead doing it doesn't absolve the people who followed it of any responsibility. I mean, let's go to professional responsibility for lawyers here. Just because your senior associate tells you to do something, if you know it's wrong, you can't get away with it just by saying, well, this guy told me to do it.
This is lesser of all evils, though, man.
I just want chaos.
I'd rather I'll take Houston where it's been years removed, and this time it's earned because Dusty Baker. It's not as if it's still Hinch or whatever his name kind of going. I mean, all the people who oversaw are gone except for some of the players, but it's not like they're going to move their best guys, and we accept it. Versus the man that Rob Manfred did not have the testicular fortitude. Oh, Steph's about to go for that buckle bomb in the cage. To have for the table to have that testicular fortitude to actually suspend him for life. Whereas Carlos Beltran got blacklisted before he even started a major league game as a manager, and then Hinch, at least Hinch was out and then got put back in by a different team. Boston played a dirty-ass game and said, oh, we don't know about this, so we're just going to take Raw Road and then we're going to go from there. And they purposely planned this out. That is, they are the corruption. They are the infestation because their little title that they won a couple years back was also fraudulent. But no one came down on them. That's my piece. I'll keep it to it. I'm very passionate about it.
Well then,
that's just pretty good, by the way.
American League Championship Series. Since we're on this already, Houston, Boston.
Go Houston.
Yeah, I'm on the Astros band. I don't want another. Look, enough with the Boston teams. I don't want them to be good. I don't want them to be good. And this is gonna be fun.
The man was pushed. All right, steps on top rope. Edge pushes him off. He connects with a steel chair and went through the table. And I will be giving ratings for every match that ends as long as we're watching this.
All right.
Now we're at 5.
Houston Astros up 3-2 on the Red Sox. They are at home and they are ready to close it out. There is controversy with the umpires and things like that between the Sox and the Astros. Some questionable calls. But I am all for the chaos. I want the Astros to win. I want it to happen. And I wanted it to the point where I wanted them to face the Dodgers. So I'm hoping there's still a slim chance that this could happen, where the Dodgers could once again pull off the 3-1 a reverse sweep, or whatever you want to call it.